In the heart of a bright and colorful forest where sunlight danced through the emerald leaves and birds painted the sky with joyful melodies, lived a curious little fox named Fino. Fino was not like other foxes who loved to chase butterflies or nap under trees. Fino loved sounds. Every morning he woke up to the whisper of the wind, the bubbling of the brook, and the soft hum of bees above the flowers. He tried to copy every sound he heard, sometimes with sticks, sometimes with leaves, sometimes with stones. But something was missing. His music felt lonely. He wished he could make sounds that made everyone in the forest dance and smile together. One sunny morning, Fino was wandering near the big river, tapping the branches together in rhythm, when suddenly he heard a deep boom 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 echoing through the woods. Startled and curious, he followed the sound past the mossy rocks and tall ferns until he found a huge brown bear named Bobo sitting under a giant oak tree. Bobo was hitting a hollow log with his paws, making deep rhythmic beats that made the ground shake like a drum. "Wow!" cried Fino with sparkling eyes. "That sounds amazing. How do you make it do that?" Bobo grinned. "It's my forest drum," he said proudly. "I play it every morning to wake up the sun." Fino's tail wagged with excitement. "Do you think we could play together?" Bobo chuckled. "Why not? Let's try." So they began to play. Fino tapped his branches softly while Bobo kept the deep, steady rhythm. The sound of two hearts making one melody echoed through the trees. Birds stopped singing just to listen. Even the river slowed its ripples to hum along. Soon from behind the flowers appeared a white bunny named Luna. She held the shiny stones in her paws that glistened under the sunlight. "That sounds fun," she said, hopping closer. "Can I join too?" "Of course," said Fino happily. Luna clinked her stones together, ting ting ting, adding a cheerful sparkle to the rhythm. Then came a squirrel named Tiko carrying an acorn shell filled with tiny seeds. "Listen to my rattle," he said, shaking it proudly. "Shh!" The seeds whispered perfectly between the beats. Before long, the whole forest began to move with the music. Birds chirped high notes, frogs croaked low tones, deer stomped their hooves to the rhythm. Even the breeze seemed to dance through the leaves. Every creature added their sound, and for a moment it was pure magic. But soon something changed. The drumming got louder, the rattling faster, the chirping sharper. Everyone wanted to be heard more than the others. The once beautiful rhythm turned into a storm of noise. "Wait! Stop, everyone!" cried Fino, his ears twitching from the chaos. "It's too loud. No one can hear anyone else." The forest fell silent. The animals looked around, confused and a bit embarrassed. Fino took a deep breath, his tail curling around his paws. "Music isn't about who plays the loudest," he said gently. "It's about listening to each other. When we listen, we make harmony, not noise." Bobo tilted his head. "Listening, yes," said Fino. "If we all listen, we can play together, not over each other." The animals nodded and gathered closer. Fino counted softly. 1 to 3. Bobo began the deep boom boom boom. Luna followed with ting ting. Tiko added the soft shh. The birds filled in the spaces with sweet chirps. The forest came alive again, but this time it was balanced, calm, and full of joy. Every sound had its place, like pieces of a puzzle fitting perfectly together. The river sparkled as if clapping along, and the wind carried their tune far beyond the treetops. The animals swayed happily. Rabbits hopped in circles, butterflies fluttered above like dancing notes. Even Old Owl, who rarely smiled, hooted softly in rhythm. When the last note faded into the sunset, Fino's heart swelled. "We did it," he said, his voice trembling with pride. "We made real music." The others cheered. "We're a band," shouted Luna. "No," said Bobo, laughing. "We're something bigger. We're the Forest Orchestra." From that day on, every morning the forest woke up not to silence, but to music. Fino the Fox led with his wooden sticks. Bobo kept the steady drum. Luna made bright stone clinks, and Tiko's rattle filled the air like rain. The birds became their singers, the frogs their bass players, and the rustling leaves their gentle background hum. The Forest Orchestra became the heart of Colorland Forest. Animals who had never spoken to each other before now laughed and played together. They learned when to start, when to stop, when to be quiet, and when to shine. One day a shy little hedgehog named Mimi appeared rolling a pine cone that clicked and clacked as she moved. "Can I join?" she asked nervously. "Of course," said Fino, smiling. "Every sound matters here." Mimi rolled her pine cone along the beat, click clack, and it fit perfectly. Everyone laughed with joy. That evening, as the sun set behind the golden hills, the Forest Orchestra gathered once more. Fireflies lit up the trees like floating lanterns, while the animals played a gentle lullaby for all the babies of the forest. The stars twinkled to the rhythm, and the moon smiled above. The soft melody drifted through the night. When we play is when we shine like the sun, when we listen and share, there is music everywhere. The baby birds tucked under their mother's wings, the rabbits curled in their burrows, the deer rested by the river, and even Bobo snored softly in time with the beat. Fino looked up at the stars, whispering, "Tomorrow we'll make new music again." The stars blinked back as if saying yes. And somewhere deep in the forest, the gentle rhythm continued, the sound of friendship, kindness, and togetherness. Because in Colorland Forest, music was not just sound. It was a way to understand each other, to share, to care, and to celebrate being different yet connected. Every stick, every leaf, every tiny rattle had its role. No one was too small or too loud. They learned that the best songs aren't about showing off, but about fitting together. And so the Forest Orchestra played day after day, spreading happiness across valleys and rivers. The echo of their harmony reached far beyond the woods, into the hearts of children who listened from afar. And every child who heard the song smiled, learning without even realizing that true music happens when we care for one another. So whenever you hear the rain tapping on your window or the birds singing after sunrise, remember the Forest Orchestra. Maybe they're still playing somewhere, inviting you to join. Close your eyes, tap your hands to the beat, and feel the joy of sound. Because music is not just something you hear, it's something you share. And if you listen closely, you'll find your rhythm too. Learn, laugh, and play together only on Colorland TV.